Hello friends, this is Tim Collins coming to you again with our weekend word. Today, September the 23rd, is the first day of autumn. And just as our weather climate has its seasons, our lives have various seasons. You know, we have our childhood, we have our last few days. In the middle we have our grandparent days and parenthood days, teenage days. We have some good seasons and some bad seasons. Some are more joyous, some are more difficult, but they're all part of life. Ecclesiastes says there's a time for everything. Beginning in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, Solomon wrote, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace." There's a time for everything. And so, in our ministry, those of you who are in ministry in some way or another, you know that sometimes it seems like all you do is work at it without seeing any results. But that's why Galatians cautions us, Galatians 6:9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." In every farmer, every person who's planted a garden knows that there's a certain time you plant, there's a certain time you reap. The planting and cultivating process takes a lot longer than the reaping process. And on the huge farms I visited out in West Kansas, where they grow corn by the square mile, not by the acre, by the square mile, the crew that plants is very seldom the crew that reaps. And we need to understand that in ministry. There's a season for planting, and sometimes we spend our lives planting so that someone else can reap. But it's all to the glory of God. Some of you have suffered loss this year. Some of you are today maybe celebrating an anniversary of the homegoing of someone you love dearly, or a birthday or something like that of someone who's now gone on. It's time to reminisce on those things. There is a time for grief. Solomon said, "A time to mourn and a time to dance." So, that's proper. But don't let the mourning take the rest of your life. There's a time to dance as well. So whatever your season is, whatever your situation is, understand that there will come another season. If this season is difficult, there will come a joyous season. If this season is joyous, there will come a difficult season. But all those things are in the plan of God for our lives. And in the final analysis, on that last day, we spend eternity with Him if we've chosen His plan of salvation. I trust that you have today, and I trust you'll be in church somewhere tomorrow, spending quality time with God. He wants to hang out with you tomorrow. God bless you. We love you.